What's up, y'all? It's your boy Dawson for D&D TV. Thank you for rating, commenting, and subscribing. We have reached over 40,000 subscribers on Dawson Denise channel. Denise and I are grateful for that. Thank you all so much. Also, those who've donated, those of y'all who will, we appreciate it. And check out the other YouTube channel, Dawson Speaks TV. Let me get into this story. Now, I did a video, the last video I did yesterday was on this particular situation that happened at the Potter's House Fort Worth campus. I got to make sure I say Fort Worth campus because people are saying that, oh, it wasn't at Bishop Jake's church. It was at the Fort Worth campus and Bishop Jake's had nothing to do with it, which I'm going to get into that later because y'all got to understand church is a business and some of y'all got to stop all this pastor worship. I'm going to get into that later, but let me tell you this. Bishop Jakes did issue an apology to the young woman, Audrey Stevenson, who was assaulted at the Fort Worth campus. And I'm going to read some of this apology right now. While many extenuating circumstances are not shown in the video that was published March 25th, 2018, this still does not justify the lack of professionalism exhibited by the safety officer we require and expect from all of our employees. Emotions quickly escalated and a complete breakdown of communication occurred, resulting in what played out on the video. I'm extremely disappointed and I apologize for how Miss Stevenson was treated and the ill conduct she received. Privately, we will be reaching out to Miss Stevenson to offer her the apology she rightfully deserves. The safety officer in question, the guy Brandon, his tenure with us has been a positive one. This unfortunate incident, however, has endangered his continuancy with our ministry pending the outcome of a comprehensive review, which is consistent with our protocols. All right, so Bishop Jakes released that statement, and he also stated in there, like I read, that they're going to reach out and personally apologize to Miss Stevenson as well for what she experienced at the Potter's House Fort Worth campus. Now, I have to keep saying Fort Worth campus because there was a lot of people saying, well, you know, it wasn't Bishop Jakes' church. You know, he's at Potter's House in Dallas. This was in Fort Worth. There are two different pastors there. It doesn't matter, y'all. His name is still under the Potter's House. He is really the bishop of the Potter's House Dallas, the Potter's House Fort Worth, the Potter's House of Denver. Y'all know there's a Potter's House of Denver as well. And now his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, is married to Torrey Roberts, who has a church out. They have a church out in LA, which has become One Church LA Potter's House or Potter's House One Church LA. So under that Potter's House brand, that name, we don't think about all those other pastors. We think about Bishop Jakes. So if anything happens, quite naturally, people are going to look past all those other pastors and say, Bishop Jakes, what you going to do? Because when we hear the Potter's House, we hear Bishop Jakes' name. So I'm just going to leave that right there. But let me also say this to the people in the pews. Let me say this to y'all. A lot of y'all groupies and y'all with this pastor worship and, you know, the pastor can't do no wrong and get away from my church and don't come against my church and all this. You saw that video and you saw the way that this girl was assaulted by that security officer, Brandon. And Bishop Jakes saw the video too, which is why he is saying that, you know, this security guard, his continuancy with us, it's, you know, it's in limbo right now because there's some things that they saw that they're questioning as well. So for those of you all who sit in the pew, whether Bishop Jakes, you're a fan of Bishop Jakes' church or him or whatever he does, his movies or stuff like that, y'all have to stop being diehard groupies when it comes to things that are affecting people just like you. When there are issues of sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse that takes place in church and people happen to have video or they're going through lawsuits with the church, you can't attack those people and say, oh, well, you know, you should let God handle it. Oh, I wouldn't have did it like that. Or it should be handled better. Or Jesus gonna take over and Jesus will handle it. Black people, we been waiting on Jesus to do so much for us. And we still in the same predicament that Rosa Parks was 50-some years ago. That's all they give us. Well, the Lord gonna do it. Oh, we gonna pray. Oh, we shall overcome. Oh, I got a dream. I ain't picking that dream no more. Where the new dreams that's coming out? All of this slave mentality stuff that we going back and forth with these churches. It's I'm telling y'all, it's mind control. It's mind control. And I know some of y'all are saying, well, what do you mean, Dawson? Jesus can't do it. Jesus ain't gonna fix it. No, Jesus gave you power, authority, and dominion. Why you not utilizing it? Huh? Some of us don't even use our common sense. Oh, well, I'm just going to sit back and let God do it. Well, you're going to be sitting back for the rest of your life. You better get up and do something. You got enough power to do it too. God gave you power to do something too. And when it comes to people who have experienced abuse, physically, sexually, verbal abuse in the church, this is not the days of old where we just swept this mess under a rug. And we going to pray and let God handle it. I'm telling y'all, a lot of stuff that's coming out now, a lot of the stuff that I've reported and many people on YouTube have reported, it's stuff that is recent, that is going on in these mega churches and these medium-sized churches and even some small churches. Because for some people, church is it's a money-making organization. If you have charisma and you're articulate and you can move a crowd and you sing real well and you get people to come to that church, it's just a talent. That's just a gift that you have. That don't mean that you're called by God. And this is not an attack on Bishop Jake's ministry. I'm just talking in general overall. This is what's going on in many churches. And if you look now about pastors who've been charged, if you just Google it, pastors who've been charged with sexual abuse, pastors who have been arrested, all of these pastors come up, y'all. I don't even talk about some of these stories. People send me stories all the time. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I done enough. I ain't talking about this mess no more. Because if you know a pastor or an evangelist or a prophet or somebody in leadership, a musician in the church, has sexually assaulted you or physically assaulted you and you still going to that church, I'm no longer looking at them. I'm looking at you. Because you may say, I don't have a support system, but you got a phone. You got someone you can call. The same way you walked in that church is the same way you can leave it. You don't have to stay there where no one's abusing you mentally, emotionally, sexually, or physically. You don't have to take that. And I think what's happening now is the traditional people are getting a little upset with us radical people who are saying you don't have to take this stuff. And that's why I shout out people like Brother Leonard, the Truth Seeker, Church Revolution, who are letting y'all know when you're experiencing abuse like this, you don't have to take stuff like this. And there are tons of other people on YouTube, on Facebook, who've talked about their experiences in churches where a lot of people have said they've even been assaulted like Audrey was assaulted, like Audrey was assaulted. And then the people who are diehard, oh, this is just a trick of the enemy to try to confuse us. Let me tell you something. I told y'all the many people who send me emails and stuff saying how they were raped in the church. They were molested. There were people who were saying how they were turned out as young boys and now they're struggling with homosexuality and all this kind of stuff because the pastor would get up there and preach about all gays going to hell and all lesbians going to hell. But he ain't telling you that he's sucking dick too. And you done mess these men up for life. They have the duality of, oh, I don't know what I am. I was touched as a child. Now I'm up here married to this woman and all this stuff here. And y'all want me to be quiet. Y'all, I will never be quiet as long as I'm alive. And if I die, I hope somebody raise up and still speak truth to power, because the hypocrisy that happens in churches, black and white churches and Hispanic churches too. I ain't never been to an Asian church. You know, they believe in Buddha. But look here, the black, white and Hispanic churches and some Asian churches too, they believe in Christianity, some of them. Somebody gonna rise up and speak on this hypocrisy. And it's not that we're going against God. It's not that we don't believe in Jesus. I do. But the thing is that when people are being abused and we sit back and do nothing, we are just as guilty as the person who's abusing. We're just as guilty as the abuser. When we sit back and say, oh, let's pray. Some of y'all women, y'all trip me out, because when y'all children have come to y'all and said somebody touched me or this person came and did this to me in churches, I've known women who said, well, we're going to pray about it, or we're going to have a meeting. If your child come to you and tell you that somebody in the church done touched them, we ain't having no damn meeting. We going to the police. If you're a wife and you're sitting there in church like so many women have done videos and have hit me up and said, I was committed to my husband. He brought me back a STD and he was a minister in the church. He was a pastor. He had a baby on me and we did all of this stuff is happening in churches. And we have been told that God gonna get us. God gonna strike us down. We gonna die. We gonna bust hell wide open. Well, if we going to hell, y'all going to hell too. We got scholarships together. You're not gonna be able to put that hocus pocus mess on people when people's lives are being affected here now by these people who are not called to be in positions of leadership. You're not scaring us anymore. That's why we're talking out. And of course, don't come to me with that, oh, well, it's not all churches. It's not all pastors. I know that. And it's so sad that the pastors and the people who really have a heart for God and a heartbeat for humanity, those people we will never get on the Word Network. Those people will probably never preach on the stage with Benny Hinn and T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen. Those people who are really doing great things in their community, who are standing up for women and children and men who were abused sexually, mentally, or emotionally, those pastors will probably never hear anything about them. But when it comes to the safety of everybody, I'm telling y'all, speak up for yourself. Speak up for your children. Don't let these people push you in a corner and tell you you don't come against the man of God. You don't come against the church of God. You don't come against this. Nah, if God be for you, y'all know that. Who gonna be against you? I don't care what church it is. I don't care who has it. He can have more money than you. They can have the biggest enterprise or whatever. You have a right to. God cares about you too. And some of us have been taught that if we go against the system, if we talk about what we went through in church, that we're what is it they say? Oh, you're a reprobate and all this kind of stuff. But the person who was doing the abuse and the molestation, they're lifting high. Like, come on, y'all. That mess don't go that far with me. All of that stuff, all y'all religious comments. I was built for this. So all of that mess, I told y'all, I was in the system. I came out of the system. So I'm built for all your comments, all of this. Oh, the devil got you. Oh, it's a curse on you. Well, I reverse the curse. You take it home with you and your children. You don't speak nothing over me. I speak over my own self. Now, I want y'all to speak up too. Don't you let these people beat you back in the corner. Y'all reach out to Audrey Stevenson over there. Show her some love. If you ain't got no love to show, don't go over to her page. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. It's your guy, Dawson. Peace.